Hey guys, what's going on? So today I have a different kind of video. This is gonna be like an evolution of like my musical taste, I guess. This is gonna be a multiple part video. I have a lot of stuff I'm gonna cram into this video. It's probably gonna be two parts. It's gonna be about like the evolution of like how I got into like hardcore punk and then metal. This video is mostly gonna be about hardcore punk because this video is going to cover everything from when I was in like late elementary school all the way until the end of middle school and like the summer before my ninth grade. So yeah, there's gonna be a little bit of like thrash metal in here, but for the most part, this video is gonna be like punk and stuff like that. So I got this video idea from the YouTuber Grand Through Salem. He did this video called like Year of Our Lord or something. There's multiple parts where he talked about like certain years throughout his life, where he got into like certain bands and stuff like that. So I thought it'd be cool to do something like that, except not year by year, just throughout time in general. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna title this video, but anyways, basically, when I was a little kid, the first band I ever got into, I was in like the third fucking grade, and I'm still a fan of this band to this day. They're an absolutely classic band. My dad, I remember hearing fucking Led Zeppelin, and I thought it was fucking awesome. I don't know, and that was like all I listened to in fucking third and fourth grade. But as far as stuff to show off from them, this is just their self-titled. This is a remaster. I picked this up later on, but I don't know. That's all I could think of that I could show off from them, really, that would be the most interesting or the best example. But I was really into like early Led Zeppelin in elementary school. And yeah, the other band that I was really into in elementary school, kind of different band, was the White Stripes. This is also a band that my parents played a lot around the house, and this was my favorite album from them, Distigal. It's still a pretty good album in my opinion. Not too big on everything Jack White has done, to be honest, but I still love this album and the first White Stripes album. Everything else has a lot of overplayed songs, in my opinion, but I like that stuff. Anyways, but there are a few other like more like just like rock bands that I kind of liked in elementary school. Also like Smashing Pumpkins and the Hives, I guess, or a few other ones. But anyways, the band that really got me, I got into punk before I got into metal. The band that got me into that though was one band that my parents played around the house a lot was AFI, but it was more of their like early 2000s, more like post-hardcore or gothic rock or emo kind of stuff, whatever you want to call it. But my dad had one compilation from them that had all their early stuff, which I like a whole lot better, which is just like really good hardcore punk. And he had this compilation. It's beat to shit, and it's fucking awesome. This is the very copy that I first heard, and I remember thinking it was awesome. I remember borrowing the CD from my dad and bringing it in my room and listening to it nonstop because I thought it was fucking awesome. I was in like the 6th grade when I got into this, and I really liked the last few songs on here, and I wanted to get some of their studio albums, because I remember when you open this up, yeah, behind the disc it has pictures of like all the albums that the songs on this compilation are from, and I remember like looking at those and be like, okay, I want to get one of those, and looking in like the booklet, like what album each song is from. I remember the album Answer That and Staying Fashionable, like the songs from that album I liked the most at the time. So I asked my dad if there was a way I could get that album, Answer That and Stay Fashionable. It's kind of awkward to sit with my battle vest on, I don't know why. Anyways, and my dad took me to Chaos Records, and this was the first time I ever went to a record store, and I immediately found it and bought it. And so here it is. This is the first album I ever bought from a record store. So yeah, Answer That and Stay Fashionable, fucking awesome album. So I listened to AFI nonstop in like late 6th grade, and basically then I acquired pretty much all their discography, except for I still don't have their newest album. I don't really care for any of their stuff after like Sing the Sorrow, I guess. But this is a great album. I don't know, but this really got me into punk, and then I heard AFI cover of a song Halloween by the Misfits. So naturally I was curious, and I looked up who the Misfits were, and I heard their version, and then I listened to some of Walk Among Us, and I thought it was really cool. And then I got really, really into the Misfits, and the summer before 7th grade, one of the main albums I listened to that I bought was American Psycho, and I fell in love with this album, and I still think it's a really great album. Yeah, it's the Graves era. I prefer Danzig, but I still love the Graves era, especially this album. So yeah, I remember I bought this also at Chaos Records. And then another album that I bought that I listened to the shit out of was Collection 1. Just every song on here I know by fucking heart. It's just classic fucking, really catchy punk. So I don't know. I got into this, and then that summer before 7th grade, I kind of also had a phase where I got really into Kiss. I don't really remember how or why. I just thought I'd show it off just because it's noteworthy, I guess. But this is the live box set. I remember I got this for my, like, this is one of the things I got for, like, my 12th birthday. I don't really like Kiss that much anymore, but I just thought it was noteworthy to talk about because it's a band that I listened to a lot at that time. But anyways, in 7th grade, I got into just a little bit more punk, but mostly metal, which I'll get to in a minute. But one of the first punk bands that I got into after Misfits and AFI was, of course, an absolute classic that I ever wanted to listen to, who's getting into punk, the Ramones. This is my favorite album from them, Road to Ruin, and the first album that I picked up from them. So yeah, this is a classic album, but I really liked just, like, it's like the Misfits, basically, but with, like, more, like, cleaner lyrics, I guess. Because at the time, like, you know, lyrics from bands like the Misfits were really shocking and, like, taboo. I guess for me at the time, because I was, like, 11 years old, and I was kind of a sheltered little kid, so yeah. I remember hearing, like, Die Down My Darling and Last Caress and thinking it was fucking hardcore. But yeah. And also, another band that I got really into in middle school, I had a friend who was really into punk in middle school, and he introduced me to quite a few bands, but, basically one day he let me borrow his copy of My War from Black Flag on CD. I remember it didn't even have the fucking jewel case, it was just, like, the loose disc. And I popped it in when I got home, and I fell in love with it. I thought I really liked, like, the aggression, how fucking pissed off it was. The lyrics were super, like, dark and just angry and frustrated. So yeah, and this is one of my favorite albums, if not my favorite album of all time. I picked it up on vinyl later on. I was just listening to CDs at the time. But I also have a burnt copy of that album on CD, but I don't think I should show that off, just because it's not really that interesting. But yeah, there's nothing inside, it's just on black vinyl. I don't know. But yeah, so as far as middle school, like 7th grade, yeah, for 7th grade, that's pretty much all I got into as far as punk. But later on, like towards the middle of 7th grade, I remember being in the car with my dad, and he put it on his cassette copy of Master Puppets from Metallica. And I had heard Creeping Death and thought it sounded pretty fucking cool, and it was like the heaviest thing I had ever heard at the time. But he put on Master of Puppets one day, and I thought it was, like, super fucking awesome. So, of course, I picked up a copy of Master of Puppets, and this is the first metal album I ever bought. And, I got really into Metallica at the time, like, pretty much every fucking 12-year-old who gets into Metallica does. So, yeah, I was that one fanboy that defends, like, the fucking, all their shitty albums, you know, that, like, knows every song by heart. And, I mean, I'm not as big of a Metallica fan as I used to be, definitely. My favorite album from them is Injustice for All. I pretty much only listen to the first 4. I don't really give a shit about anything afterwards. But this is the first album that I got into for Metallica. And then from Metallica, I heard about Dave Mustaine and all that shit, and the drama with him getting kicked out of the band. So naturally, I got into Megadeth. This is the first thing I picked up from Megadeth. It's just the greatest hits. Actually, the first Megadeth song I ever heard that I really liked was Holy War's The Punishment Due, which I heard from Guitar Hero, which I was playing a lot at the time. So then, like, I thought it was really cool. I started listening to that a lot, and then I bought this. So, this I got really into. I got really into Megadeth. I'm not the world's biggest Megadeth fan. I have some of the rest of their discography, a lot of their early albums. I still really need to get Killing Is My Business. Random side note, I don't know why I brought that up, but, this is, like, I don't know. I thought this was a lot heavier than Metallica. And I got into most of, like, pretty much all the big 4 except for Slayer in, like, 7th grade I got into. And then also, I remember one time my parents were listening to music in the living room. And it was actually, like, a few days after I had bought that Megadeth CD. I remember, like, my dad pulled out my mom's copy of Pantera's Vulgar Display of Power, this very copy I'm holding in my hand, and handed it to me. And he's like, go bring this in your room and listen to it. You'll probably like it if you like Metallica and Megadeth. So I was like, okay, it looks pretty cool. So I brought it in my room, and I thought this was, like, the most pummeling, heaviest fucking shit ever. And I got really into Pantera in middle school. I still like Pantera quite a bit. Not as much as I used to. They don't do it for me as much as they used to, I guess. But I still like a lot of their stuff, especially Cowboys from Hell and Great Southern Trend Kill and Far Beyond Driven. But this is one of their best, obviously. It's a classic album, and I still like Pantera a lot. But yeah, and then, of course, naturally, another band that I got into really early on for metal was Iron Maiden. This is the first thing I picked up from them as well. Another greatest hits compilation. Decent compilation, but I don't know. Another thing that, like, I didn't get huge into Iron Maiden until later on, but I liked them at the time. Another band that I got really fucking into in middle school, Anthrax. This is Sound of White Noise. This album is just like, it's kind of eh. It's not the best thing that they've ever done, but it's pretty good. This is the first thing I picked up from them. I think I said that already. But later on, I got the rest of their discography. There's only a few albums from them I don't own. Actually, I have a pretty big Anthrax collection, but I liked this album a lot in middle school. It grew on me. At first, I thought it was okay, but it's cool. And then one day, I was in my garage. The garage, I'm actually in there right now. But I was upstairs looking through boxes, and I found some, like, CDs. And I found this, which is the greatest hits from Black Sabbath. And this was like the end of 7th grade when I found this, and I got really fucking into Black Sabbath that summer before 8th grade. Black Sabbath, like, this is one of the main things I listened to. Like, I listened to the shit out of this compilation, and it's a really good compilation. It's 2 discs of just, like, all the Aussie stuff, so yeah. But then, also that summer before 8th grade, I got into even more hardcore punk, and then in 8th grade, that's, like, almost all I listened to. The first band was Minor Threat. And I really, really liked this. I really liked the lyrics and the ideas of, like, straight edge and stuff like that. And the aggression, how pissed... This is, like, the most pissed off thing that I was listening to at the time, like this and Black Flag. I got really into Minor Threat. And then from Minor Threat, I discovered the Bad Brains. Eye Against Eye was the first thing I picked up from them. And then later I got the self-titled. I still need to get Rock for Light, though. That's my favorite album from them. But I listened to this a lot that summer. And then my favorite band since that summer before 8th grade were probably like Black Sabbath and Suicidal Tendencies, who I also got really into. This is one of the, I bought this like box set of like 5 of their albums. I just listened to the shit out of all of them. I still love Suicidal Tendencies. My favorite album is their self-titled, but I didn't feel like showing that off because I listened to this more in around that time. Anyways, and then in 8th grade, I just discovered so many fucking just classic hardcore punk bands and albums, including, I'm just going to show off a whole fuck ton of them. The Circle Jerks is my favorite album from them, wonderful. The Germs, of course. I also got into a lot of, like, youth crew kind of stuff, like Gorilla Biscuits and Youth of Today. I really liked that since I like Minor Threat and straight edge stuff. I got into this. And I still love Gorilla Biscuits. They're a great band. This is my favorite release from them, which is their self-titled EP. Not really hardcore punk, but more psychobilly. The Cramps. This is all I own from them, actually, and I love the fucking Cramps. I need to get Songs the Lord Taught Us sometime. Another one of my favorites in the 8th grade, Dead Kennedys, Plastic Surgery Disasters. This is my favorite from them. I just listened, like, I bought these albums on binge, because I would save up my money, and I would just go to Chaos Records and just buy an album from a band that I had heard of, and I would go home and just fall in love with it. It's such a good time for, like, I just have a lot of good memories listening to all these albums and falling in love with them. TSOL's EP. This is fucking awesome. I love this album. Another straight edge album, 7 Seconds, The Crew. I also listened to a fuck ton of this in middle school. Also, The Adolescents self-titled was another album I really liked at the time. I forgot to pull that out. And Battalion Saints, Second Coming. But those are just some of my favorite hardcore punk albums from middle school. There's still a lot more. But anyways, that school year, though, like, my dad, for a birthday present, my mom bought him a ticket to see Anthrax live, and my dad, and, like, they also got a second ticket to take me, so, and it was Anthrax, but they weren't the headlining band. The headlining band was Lamb of God, so I decided to check them out. So at the time, this album had, like, come out, like, a few months ago, and this is Sturm und Drang. I got this towards the end of, like, 8th grade, and then I checked out the rest of their discography. I fell in love with it. It was a little hard for me to get into at first, because I wasn't really into, like, harsh vocals. Like, harsh vocals as in, like guttural, death metal-y kind of vocals. And Lamb of God aren't the most abrasive band vocally, in extreme metal, at least. But for me at the time, this was really fucking brutal, and it's really not that heavy by my standards now, but, I don't know. If it weren't for this, I wouldn't have gotten into, like, extreme metal, probably, because this got me into that vocal style. But that summer, before 9th grade, well, I have a few records to show off. I switched to vinyl from CD. I won't say switch, I just started listening to vinyl. And that summer, it's funny, I got into, like, 2 polar opposite styles of punk. I got into more melodic stuff, like, The Descendants. I love the shit out of My Mom Goes to College. and NoFX. I got really fucking into NoFX a lot, and I still love them. They're one of my favorite bands. Which is weird, because I just showed off a bunch of hardcore punk, and this is more like skate punk. It's almost kind of pop punk, actually. But I really love this album, especially. So I got into, like, more melodic stuff that summer, and I also got into more, like, not quite D-beat, but, like, street punk kind of stuff. Like GBH and Discharge. Fucking love Discharge to death. But that's all I could really think of, as far as what I was listening to at that time, before, like, I got in the 9th grade, and then, that's when I got into, like, death metal and more thrash, and then even eventually black metal, which I'll talk about in the next video. But that's it for this video, though. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and all that stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. So, yeah, bye.